Question 29b for the sports medicine option asks students to explain the sporting options available for aged people with medical conditions, and it was worth 5 marks. Some parts of this question we need to be looking at. Obviously explain, we needed to be giving the sporting options for aged people with medical conditions. All right, so that's what the question is asking us to look at. If we go to our syllabus and just have a look and see whereabouts it would relate. If we go down here, we'll actually see where it says the adult and aged athletes, heart conditions, fractures, bone density, flexibility, joint mobility. That's the parts of the syllabus that we need to put in. If we just have a look at our Learn 2 for a second, what we'll notice is it says here, explain the sports participation options available for aged people with medical conditions. That's our exact question. Explain the sporting options available for aged people with medical conditions. So our question has come straight from our Learn 2. So more emphasis needs to be placed on the Learn 2 from students to get a real understanding of the options for where the questions are coming from. So that's our syllabus there. Just looking at this response first of all, and the response is over 2 pages. It makes it a little bit difficult, but this is a good answer. Okay, just looking first of all at this response. First things that I notice as a marker is that there's a lack of underlining and a lack of structure to this question. Okay, the student's been able to achieve a 5 out of 5, which is full marks for this question, but there needs to be more work done in terms of structure of the answer. Okay, the question needed students to talk about the elderly people or adult and aged athletes, some of the conditions in which they have, right, the heart conditions, or explaining different medical conditions that they have, and also to look at different sports that might be available to them. So obviously some of the more sports that would be suitable for elderly people would be, and the easy answer would be walking, swimming, yoga, stretching, aqua aerobics, those sorts of things. That's what students need to have in their answers, and explaining why they would be important based on their conditions. So why would aqua aerobics be important? Because of bone density. Older people aren't as strong with their bones, therefore they need to be doing non-weight bearing activities. This question needs more work on the structure, which is a real concern for this student. More underlining needs to be done, just to have some of the key parts of the question stand out. Okay, anytime there's a syllabus word mentioned, needs to be underlined. Okay, flexibility, joint mobility. So the marker can straight away start to see that there's some parts of the syllabus that have been answered. Okay, again, talking about bone density down here. The example being for swimming, right? Bone density. Looking at swimming, these need to be in there. Okay. Joint elasticity. So more work on the structure and the underlining, but it's a good answer because the students been able to look at the different areas of the syllabus: heart conditions, fractures, bone densities, flexibility, and joint mobility, and has been able to give a number of sports that or activities that the elderly people could participate in based on the medical condition, being able to draw it back to the medical condition. Just having a look at some of the marking guidelines from this question, and we'll see some of the points here. Up the top, it just gives us a few of the suggested answers here. It talks about aged people and common medical considerations. So again, the syllabus dot point: heart disease, fractures, bone density, reduced flexibility, mobile problems. Okay, so it talks here about warm up and cool down to avoid placing the heart under any sudden changes, which comes back to some heart diseases. All right, some low to medium intensity activities are recommended. Examples would be walking, jogging, cycling, Pilates, yoga, water aerobics, golf, etc. Okay, they need to participate in some form of strength exercises to help muscles and bones stay strong. All right, that's the bone density aspect. Okay, using stairs instead of lifts, moderate yard work. And again, the last one here looks at effort should be made to keep the joints supple and flexible so that full range of motion is possible. Some Tai Chi, some bowls, some dancing. So relating the example back to the condition which relates to the syllabus dot point. Just the feedback for this question overall, looking at all candidates' responses, was that there was a range of responses were given to this question. Most students were able to identify the sporting options available to aged athletes and provide examples. The key to this question was the ability of students to illustrate the relationship between the sporting option available to aged athletes as a result of the medical condition that they are identified in the syllabus. Example, heart disease, fractures, bone density, reduced flexibility, and mobility problems. The better responses did this well, clearly providing a link between the sporting options and they complemented the common medical considerations for age athlete. So that's what we're asking students to do. So what are some of the activities that the elderly people need to do? Why do they need to do them? And how does that relate back to our syllabus dot point here?